Oh. Oh. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. I'm just glad the fans still scream week after week.
And they always sound the same. It's great. It's like AC/DC. Never changes.
I got the enthusiasm. What's up, man?
Chilling. Feeling like a little bit strange because I'm doing a headline and Zoom show tonight.
Yeah.
At 6 o'clock, I'm gonna do I don't know, 40, 45, and then I'll do my podcast, and it'll be fucking weird, but fuck it,
45 minutes on a Zoom show?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I hedged my bets. I did hedge my bets by doing, when they asked me to do it, I was like, all right, I want to do part stand-up, part my podcast. And they were like, great. So I'm like, cool. So 15 minutes in, I'm like, this ain't going well at all. Let's do my podcast for 45 minutes.
I am terrified of an hour-long set. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to prepare for it when we are finally allowed to go back on the road.
Oh, this feels like the beginning of the weekend. But it feels like, okay, before you get to the weekend, just run through this maze and escape the Minotaur. Hope you make it out.
Should we just do these? Oh, sorry.
It's just like, I'm jumping. I'm jumping out of the plane, Hope this parachute catches.
Has anyone called these drive-in shows just like, we just want to super spread the laughs? Like, has anybody called those? We got listen. It's important to laugh, and we want to spread laughter. So to come to this super spreader event at the drive, I was watching
laughs,
and it's not Nate's fault, but I was watching Nate doing his shows. Just cars full of people crammed in drunk. I'm like, oh yeah, this is responsible.
Wait, Nate, who? Bargatze?
Bargatze.
Oh my god!
You think Nate Craig's doing drive-ins? Get out of here.
I mean, well, I thought maybe he's open. No, I thought he was like open for Burr again or something.
Yeah, now I'm busting both parties' balls. And yeah, I was like wondering, I wonder how they go. Like, it's just,
yeah. I mean, it's so bad right now. I mean, I thought it would get bad post Thanksgiving. I thought it'd get like this bad post Thanksgiving. We're not even there yet, and it's already like, man, it's as if
I lost Matt's audio.
Can you hear me?
Now I hear you.
Okay.
What's with this technology, man?
I don't know what's going. I don't know what to tell you, Woodsman. So
I'll edit it. It'll get edited.
It's fine. Yeah.
Listen, I'm sitting around an operation here.
Yeah.
I should send you a picture. I got a space shuttle cockpit I've set up mostly on my own. I'm very impressed. I haven't punched anything.
Nice. Look what we got now. Look at this wallpaper. You see it?
Oh.
Huh?
Yeah, it's like
just like the real outdoors. Yeah.
Like the real outdoors of the Golden Girls set.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not an insult. Not an insult.
I didn't take it that way. Not for nothing. We name our little girl Rose.
Yeah, I'd love to spend the sunset of my years on some bamboo and rattan furniture.
Hell yeah. Sunshine year round.
Oh. When you're that old, I think you appreciate the humidity.
Yeah, I think so.
There's something about it, like you dry out as you get older, like an old fruit. So
exactly. You need moisture literally in the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Chicago's too crowded. So.
No, we don't want to know that. Yeah. But sorry to cut you off with the audio.
No, I was talking about something lightly depressing, and this just isn't the place for that shit, man.
Now we're talking about trying to do comedies.
Place, but yeah. Talk about. I will say, per your idea, if you were like super spreader event (parentheses) of laughs, people would literally think it was hilarious. People be like, "That's really funny." Meanwhile,
maybe that's what I gotta call this show, is just to rile somebody up, man.
Sure.
Yeah, it's weird. It's getting to that point. Not that it hasn't gotten to that point for other people, but where it's got like the weekly meetup, like we do family Zoom with the family, and well, that's how family Zoom. But it's like, what happened this week? Like nothing. Everybody's just getting just the dials just weirder, just clicking over to weirder and weirder.
Yep.
And then because everybody's moving at that glacial pace, everybody's getting weird at the same time. So there's no checks and balances. I did a show last night and all the bits, I'm like, I don't even know if these are good. These are just real strong opinions.
Yeah.
That I thought was comedy before I said them out loud.
Oh, I've got my 2 pages that I'm drawing from this evening. One is my hour I had before the Great Plague, and then is like other ideas I have, and the mindset between the two. It's the same guy, but it's just like this guy's so way out, and it's just stuff I randomly remembered from my childhood that I never talked about, and all kinds. Nothing like I remember my touchy-feely uncle or nothing like that, but just like, well, how did I remember that shit? And just kind of typed out these little. So I got these 2 sheets I'm just going to be drawing from, and hopefully find a correlation of some kind or not. Whatever.
I'm liking it because there's been no like on Monday you do bits,
right,
and then you get shut down right away if it wasn't funny. Like some bits like, oh, I had high hopes for this, and then it would just let it go away because people didn't laugh on Monday. But now it's like, who knows? You just keep them around, and now it's all just the weird stuff. And
yeah, I don't know when we'll go out again. It's so strange, and I'm also not. It's not driving me crazy like it was 5 months ago. You know, my big thing, like yours, is just worrying that all the good venues will die. Yeah.
One of them, I had some, one that I was supposed to play on December 5th, Portland, Maine. What was it called? It doesn't matter because it's closed.
Port City.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. That one's closed.
Sucks.
So yeah, go to National Independent Venue Association. That's the charity I keep promoting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to link that to my stuff too.
Shit, yeah, maybe that's one of the ongoing charities for the show. But I know when people are asking about, well, God, yeah, we got Thanksgiving. We're going to be off next. I'm assuming we're going to be off next week after Thanksgiving or Friday after Thanksgiving. Black Friday, I'm going to be in the stores looking for those savings.
You got to, because that's the only way to get them. We're going to charge Walmart hands wrapped in electrical tape and masks on. And when I say masks, ski masks to avoid. I'm going to let my mouth breathe because I'm a real American and just run right into Walmart and look for deals.
Yeah, they're all closed. I'm robbing that shit. So that's 100% off.
the old looter's discount.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm loading. We'll let's give those right wingers some truth, and we'll frame it as a protest, but then we'll just loot the shit out of everything.
Right, exactly. Just nothing like nothing says a right side of the movement like a white guy with a Black Lives Matter T-shirt on stealing TVs. Yeah,
but I'm stealing TVs for the movement.
Right.
Everything I steal, I'm donating to Black Lives Matter. So,
yeah, you drop the TV off.
Kinda.
Yeah.
It's a real Robin Hood situation I'm going for here.
That's a curly Q way to stick it to the man. It just goes around and through things, and
it works out. It works out ethically in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
My people asking how Helen's doing, man. Dirt nap. We got raccoons again. Raccoons are supposed to. They're bold animals, but these just sit and look right in the patio door. They just sit outside and watch us. Like little peeping toms, and kind of cute, but also like fucking creepy because you're just walking by and there's just a large. Are raccoons rodents?
I don't know.
Rodent family?
I don't know.
But sitting upright, staring at you in your own home.
Yes. Well, the thing about raccoons, they always get me the eyes, and also they have like humanoid hands with claws.
Oh, yeah.
Their hands are horrifying.
Nervous little hands, always just like, huh? What? Oh, what?
Yes. Right.
Oh, yeah, you catch them and then they just pat around like they drop their keys. What was that? I just know there's
I'm
something
just my contact.
hold on. It was over here. So we got that going on. I'm getting into like the bird feed, like feeding the birds and watching the bird.
That's my parents' jam. They just put out the bird feeder and they're like sent me like 5 pictures of this bird.
Is it? Oh, thank you, Jake. Says the closest relatives of raccoons are ring-tailed cats and caco missiles.
Well, what the fuck are those 3 things then?
You didn't. They just sent us backwards instead of forwards, Jake.
Yeah, man. You expanded the question rather than give us one simple answer.
You're just making up words, trying to confuse us in the chat. Yeah, do you find, here's a question, Matt. Do you find that as you're 8, like, are you appreciating things that old people do? Well, that makes sense. Look at that little guy.
Yeah, but he's of the adorable Ramus
I'd
family.
let one of those in the house. Honestly, if we didn't have the cat, we'd probably be letting the raccoons in the house. Like I said, about the dial of getting weirder and weirder without having any kind of checks and balance.
You don't want to see those eyes in the dark. You don't want those things sitting on your bed when you try to go in to find your slumber.
Well, no, like cocktail hour. They wouldn't spend the night.
Just for a moment.
Just to watch The Bachelorette, and then after that, everyberry's going to bed.
Have an aperitif, and then you go out and you eat your trash, and I'll
look at this. This thing just looks like a
it's
a bong. It's a bong ripped ferret. That's all that is.
It's a suspicious mouse. That's the actual name. What the fuck?
Who gave this
10 of those?
That is made out of the fur of other animals.
That's not real, and that's certainly Japanese.
Miniature felted planet. My sister did. My sister brushed her cat and then made little hats out of the fur, which is like you want to be grossed out, but then you see a little fur sombrero go on a cat that's unhappy about how its own shedding is being used. I dig it.
It's pretty great. That's pretty great. Yeah.
But yeah, like getting old and like, am I appreciating these things because my age or because of the situation that's happening around us? Like, you got nothing else to do, so sit and just watch these birds kick it.
Okay.
Watch the squirrels eat out of the squirrel feeder, and being okay with enjoying those things. Like, that's where I'm scared. I'm like, I'm not. Does it mean my mind's getting soft, or is it okay to just enjoy these simple things and be happy with your surroundings?
I think you're being pretty zen. I think when you kind of realize there's no should be doing, it's whatever you need to be doing for yourself. I remember there was that Paul Newman bank robber movie when he was in his way elder years, where he was a guy in a restaurant room who like had robbed all these banks, but he was like basically a vegetable, but turned out he was just staying as still as possible for like years. And it was this thing that he kind of meditated himself, where he was just like, when you can just sit there and all you do is blink every couple minutes, he's like, that's the stuff. Like, he got into it super hardcore and then like broke like that, then like escaped. But it was just this kind of like, not only like mastery of self, but just making himself relax kind of thing. I think if you can just sit, and I have a problem with that. Sit, don't look at your phone, don't read, just kind of zone out. It's basically a form of meditation, but that's hard.
Yeah, I just wind up going to bed.
Yeah.
Every time like somebody like they talk about meditating, I'm like, I just fall asleep. I'm like, well, isn't that the goal of meditate? Like, isn't the most relaxed state to be able to fall asleep on command?
Yeah, but you want total consciousness. That's the ultimate goal. And so you got to start with your own consciousness. Sleeping is just sleeping. I mean, look, I'm not knocking it.
Sleeping's pretty dope.
It's pretty fucking, I love sleeping.
All right, I'm being zen with these birds.
We almost moved the the snoo, the bassinet that rows around and makes white noise down the hall. Looked it up. We're not supposed to do that for like a year. And I was like, deep down inside, I was like, oh, thank God. That sweet white noise puts me to sleep right away at night.
Really?
Oh my God. I'll lay in bed and like open a book and be like, nope, lights out.
That's where my like attention is like, I was trying to make a joke about how I was like reading a book during the day, and that's when I'm like, oh man, maybe I'm depressed. Like, who reads during the day? You got to be pretty sad if you're doing that. That's in my head. Like, I'm reading during the day. Maybe something's wrong with me.
Fuck that. That's the life.
I know, but just the idea of like just maybe I'll read. I'm like, man, maybe you should get yourself some help.
Oh, I'm always like, oh, maybe I should. I'm like, oh, I can't read. I got to write. Hour later, I'm still on Twitter. It's just like, fuck off. You didn't do any work. You should have just read an actual book.
I had to check myself. Like, I've been off Twitter with the exception of like a couple promo things, and then I got my password back, and I almost went back on. I had to text it to somebody else and be like, "Is this too bitchy? Is this just gonna get me into shit?" Because I'm just like, man. Because my favorite thing is to point out hypocrisy. Like, that's where I find the best kind of humor because it pisses everybody off.
Oh, sure, right.
And I don't know if it's like now it's like the release valve of. We can't criticize ourselves and liberals because we've had this common enemy for so long.
Right, sure.
But I'm so proud of our back padding liberals that we address that mental health is real and should be taken seriously. And we should never miss any chance to videotape a white woman losing her shit and call her a Karen and not think that maybe she's off the same meds as a homeless person. I don't know why.
Ooh, the replies must have been.
Well, I didn't do it. I'm like, it's not funny yet. It's just bitchy.
But there's definitely a thing there for sure.
We'll make it a bit, but on Twitter, and then because then somebody would be like, "Well," and then be like, "Well," and then 4 hours of my life are gone.
Yeah,
the rest of the day I'm in a bad mood. I'm like, this is why I left it.
That's why Twitter is poison. I mean, it's just poison that I drink every day.
Well, one of the best, especially with all this shit going on. I am glad that I stuck with being off of it, like speaking of mental health, of just not getting caught up in it. And if you're somebody who can just read it and not get caught up in it, more power to you. But I would always have to respond or have an opinion that somebody would challenge me on, and it's all fuck you. And man, I can't imagine if I was still stuck in it. Try it out, man. Try it.
Yeah.
Give the password to Kara or something and be like,
I should do that. I should certainly do that.
Put this promo on there. Cause I'm like, I wasn't getting anything from it.
No. And neither am I. At this point, I'm like, I'm looking at it a lot just because of this current situation, which shall not be named, because you get updates and I follow a lot of reporters and stuff, but it's also just, I had to reach a point. And the cool thing is I have a literal, fucking, choice from God every single day, where it's like I have this baby that's in the playpen. I call it working on the farm because it's all these like stuffed animal hanging like vegetables and shit. And I'll be like, get the tomato. And she'll kind of like attack them and stuff. Or there's this phone over here that I find myself picking up while I'm playing with my kid. And it's just like, I make myself throw it across the room, the phone, not the baby. But
just don't get confused.
Where I have to just go, oh yeah, no, this is what I need to pay attention to. This is a thing I don't want to miss. I should miss everything on that fucking phone. It's designed to make me need it and just keep fucking looking at it. This baby, just needs food and to get her shit wiped and to hang out, have someone to clap and laugh and shit,
My childless friend described looking at a baby. My buddy's baby was like sitting on the table, and we're all around. It wasn't like, and he's just stoned. He's like, he described it. But he's like, I look at it like a campfire. I'm just gonna watch it to see what it does. As being a non-parent watching a baby, it's like that's the same reason you look at a fire. Look at how it moves. It made a little sound. Oh, it's going that way. How about it? That's it.
While Kara's working, I'll like film her if she's doing something crazy and just send the video to Kara, and she'll like be on a work call and mute her work call and just watch this. I should have, and Kara was like, "You should have fucking filmed that," but I didn't want to because she was freaking out and like. She's kind of starting to teeth now, so she'll just cry for no reason and stuff. Yeah. But she has this little stuffed animal, like little man fox that someone sent us. His name is Wayne, and he has like a flannel shirt and suspenders and some jeans, and he's like a little stuffed animal man and a little hat. He's like a woodland.
Is that just the Carfax?
No, a fox
mascot.
Like a fox man. He's like just no.
That's what the Carfax.
Maybe it's like that, but it's just like this.
Somebody gave your baby the shit they got free with their credit report.
This thing is made of. This thing is hand knitted. It's no way this thing was made in a factory. No way. No way. No way. So, but she's crying, and the Foxman's in the crib with her. She's got him by his suspenders, screaming into his face, and it's like it looked like, "You fucking keyed my car, you son of a bitch!" Like it looked like.
Tell me where the money is.
You pay me my fucking money. I should have filmed it. I can't film my baby crying. That's fucked up. I got to comfort.
Sure you can. Sure you can.
Give it a month.
It's not like it's sitting there with a compound fracture and you're like, oh, man, get a load of this. It's doing what babies do. That's why we just film the cat all day.
Yeah, that's true. I'll film her next time.
Side note, wildly impressed with as far as the advertising technique of choosing something that is so inane that people remember it as the Carfax Fox.
Yeah, they nailed it.
We're Carfax. Facts about cars. This is a fox. Why? Because it kind of sounds like facts. Does it matter? Nope. Here's a stuffed animal to give us your credit card information. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is the least trustworthy ad campaign I've ever seen.
Who had that bit about naming countries? Was it like Betancourt? Was just like, let's name this one Russia, and this one Prussia. I don't know. I'm starving. Can we go to lunch?
Prussia. Oh, Mickey.
Oh, well, should we bring on our special guest?
We should.
And we've been trying to get this guy on forever, but he is working during the pandemic, A. B, has 2 kids. And we'll find out C. So wait, hold on. I've been told to it is? I don't care. Yeah, Jake said it's only 22 minutes in, but I don't care. Let's bring him out. Is that okay with you?
Well, that might have to do with if he's there.
Oh, shoot. Maybe he's not there.
This episode, smooth as a gravel driveway.
He's here. Okay, so let's bring him on. And don't edit any of that out because who fucking cares? Baron Vaughn, everybody. Hey!
I'm definitely not dancing in sync to that sound because everyone's got different speed Wi-Fi's and stuff.
Yeah.
But I always compare it to like a Sally Jesse Raphael intro for a guest, and I like the idea of someone, coming out dancing to it, but not on beat to the point you can see they're on something. And it's like this.
It definitely must have happened, right?
On Sally Jesse Raphael?
Oh, yeah.
It was her. Yeah, she was on
some sort of prescription pill overdose, for the day.
What happened to Sally Jesse?
Yeah.
I have no idea. First of all, that 90s talk show era.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, that was the hottest stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
She was a huge star.
Yep.
And then now we have no idea.
Yeah, there's nothing. I think they keep trying to force that through. Like the latest would be like Drew Barrymore, but it just doesn't. It's kind of like Ellen, and that's it. I feel like these days, like there could be only one, like the Highlander. Is there anyone else that's kind of got the daytime slot that people watch? That is.
Well, Tegan works for Kelly Clarkson. Seems.
Oh yeah, that's right, Kelly Clarkson.
People like her, America's sweetheart.
Sure, she is. Yes.
But that daytime, that's a different thing than what SJR was doing.
Wasn't she daytime though?
She was daytime, but content wise, you're
she's around. There she is.
There she is.
Goodness.
Still got the glasses.
I had no idea. No, because her talk show was like one of those definitive, wasn't it like trashy or something? Like she didn't have like, her guests weren't like, here's who wrote a book and here's a
movie
it wasn't just like, finding dads.
But it was it was like
just dad search. It's like Star Search, but it's dad search.
This dance was happening a lot on that show.
It wasn't like Maury, where it's like you are not the father. It was stuff like, this is a group of vandals. They admittedly vandalize, and so Ryan is here, and just these some random modern thing, like a movement of some kind that isn't a movement, like always just something slightly scandalous.
These are
weird
video game vampires,
right?
Which now is a real thing.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
But
look,
like,
just video game vampires. The average cosplayer, I think, is a video game vampire. I mean, like,
cosplay is fascinating to me. Of
Yeah.
just like where like I want to come from a place of support everybody's creative outlet, and I'm like, oh, you're just an adult that dresses up like Sonic the Hedgehog by yourself at home. I mean, if I was a father and lived next to that person, I'd be like, don't go. We don't trick or treat over there. But yet I'm conflicted with wanting them to celebrate their individuality.
When I was in Boston a year and a half ago, Kara and I were in this like shopping center, small one, and we were going up the escalator and going down. We're a Viking couple. I mean, full regalia, braids, some sort of broadsword that's allowed indoors and in businesses, evidently.
It wasn't concealed.
And everybody, yeah, it's open carry broadswords in Massachusetts, I think.
I have a concealed carry broadsword permit, by
the way. Just huge suitcase. And everyone's kind of snickering at them and laughing. But Kara and I were both kind of looking at them like, it's not my jam, but look at the commitment is incredible. You know, it's like, wow. Sonic the Hedgehog, that would, no. But,
well, I've seen some cosplayers are true artists, like that they design these things, like they're making their own clothes and the photography, and you're like, what the heck? And then sometimes you get someone who's just like, I'm just gonna wear this for a month, and just, that's, I don't know if that's a cosplayer. I think I'm starting to venture into furries, but I also don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I've researched that world, and it is very interesting.
I saw the documentary you made about it, The Sound and the Furries.
Oh boy! Well, did you just lead me into that one on a leash? Is that how you got
wait,
with
no.
the furry? Come on!
Wait, did you do the Sound of the Furries, or did you do the Fast and the Furious? Which one?
Woof!
And I take my leave.
Drifted that one.
Window breaks.
I'm so sorry.
I'll stop this show right now.
No, what were you saying?
I will walk off the show. I don't remember.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, I love silliness.
Me too. Oh,
I was trying because I had the same thing. Like, all right, this is something that is so easy to make fun of right off the bat, but a lot of people are doing it. Why? Like, it's not my joke about fetishes already have been like that. I mean, thank God for the internet, because a fetish starts with one person feeling a certain way and then having no idea if they're totally alone in the world. And then the internet is like, no, I totally get a hard on from looking at turtles or whatever. And then like, oh, I'm not alone. And then people will be like, oh, we dress up like turtles. We meet at this hotel.
Yeah. I heard Dave Holmes describe the moment he found like other gay guys who were into the stuff that he was into, just in terms of like lifestyle. He described as feeling like the bee girl in the Blind Melon video, where she's dressed like the bee and like everyone's laughing, and then there's a whole field of them, like that moment that's what you're looking for, probably.
It's kind of insane that I just recently watched that video, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
As long as you get what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. You just need a break from everything. You're like, I gotta watch the No Rain video.
The words Shannon Hoon came to my mind out of nowhere, and I was like, "Oh, that was the dude from I was just like, why do I remember his name? And then I looked up that song, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. Something happened. He passed away. He passed away. That's very Southern. It's like, did he pass away?
He passed.
He passed on."
I have to share it, or I'm going to have an aneurysm. But it's been building and building. But we can't forget Kyle's other furry movie. Bears in the Wood, with the dad character Furious Styles. Thanks, guys. That was Lawrence Fishburne. That was his character's name. Furious Styles was the dad, the disciplinarian. I left.
He's left. He left. Bye, girl.
I fucking told you.
I did it. I feel like I exercised it.
I told you it was going to happen.
I love top of the screen. It just says Kyle is talking. Yeah, I fucking hear him.
Man,
I will protest this many puns.
I deserved it completely.
What is it about puns though? Like but to make them though,
yeah, it's so fun. It annoys other people.
That's my favorite thing.
And then it keeps, like
it becomes funny how upset people get.
Yeah,
and that fuels your creativity for it.
I'm making Skittles pancakes. You're gonna hate them. Like why am I so like proud of myself to create something no one will enjoy?
That is definitely not true. Look, this is 2 against 1 right here. So
I mean, if someone, it's funny, I enjoy them, but if it goes on too long, I'm like, you have to stop, and of course that makes the person never stop.
It's you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to show them. It really is a gamble.
It really is a gamble. Yeah.
That kind of is a pun right there, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did you guys ever see that website, Guys Who Are Kenny Rogers? It was just pictures of men who looked like Kenny Rogers that had the beard. It was like all these, and they were like, there'd be like, and it's like Hot Tub Kenny. It's like just someone's dad and a white beard.
What was that? Is that early internet or something?
Yes. A friend of mine was obsessed with it because it would go around the world and there'd be like an Asian Kenny Rogers and then, African-American Kenny Rogers. It was great. It was like the unified. All you have to have is that full head of white hair. And lustrous
That's what I mean. I want to know what Asian Kenny Rogers.
He had a white beard and hair. He was old.
Were they just people who happened to look like Kenny Rogers,
yes,
or they specifically?
They were not tribute.
Like stock photos.
Yes, stock photos people had shared. Oh, this is my dad. Things like that. And then this guy would categorize them, the types of Kennys. It was like, remember the House of Cosby's?
Oh yes.
On Channel 101.
Channel 101, yeah.
Where the different types of Cosby's, like Space Cosby, Future Cosby,
Oof.
Bathtub Cosby, and this of course was pre.
Yeah.
But
even though I remember they got a cease and desist letter because I remember one of their episodes was, is that the Kenny's thing?
All right, let's see.
Oh wow! Look at all the Kennys.
Wait a minute, that's not just.
One is just George Lucas.
Oh, that is George Lucas.
And there's Sean Connery. Amazing. It's a look, man.
It is a look.
It is the blow dried back hair. Yes. That I will be attempting soon with what's left up here, and it's gonna look stupid, like it doesn't now, but it's gonna look real piece of shit. Like,
I think and the beard's looking quite nice, man.
It's quite an achievement.
Like Braunger and I were saying before you got on, Bear, there's no checks and balances anymore. Like you're still working. You still got to go face to face with people that know you and might say something to you.
Bear, and I said you were working, and I thought you were. Are you guys shooting now?
Well, I did some episodes of the show Superstore on NBC.
Okay.
So Grace and Frankie shut down like, way back.
Got it.
And, especially because the people who are the leads on the show are,
sure,
all
at risk,
very high up at risk.
Yes.
And so Superstore, though, because it's a show that takes place in like a Walmart, Target style store, just like in real life, a lot of those stores are open in some kind of sort. The show takes place in St. Louis. So one of the big reasons for me that I decided that I even wanted to do it is because they were addressing COVID. Like the posters came out and everyone's wearing their mask. I'm like, yeah, there are people who are out there trying to work right now, in various situations. But, for us, it's like they were doing COVID tests every single day. And it's like, I was happy about that. But like, shit is getting weird. It says shit is getting weird. So I was happy to get out of there before shit gets weird, as we all know, as numbers start to spike and blah blah blah. But I was happy to go do it.
When Baron really wants you to listen to him, he starts singing. I know that. I'm like,
no. It's when I wish I could cry instead. When I wish I could actually shed a tear. It's, what was really crazy about it is, so the actors, I literally got tested every single day. There were some times where we were asked not to wear masks, so they weren't wearing, if you had to have a test, obviously.
Yeah.
Crew, masks and face shields all the time. So it's like, I took all these pictures of people in the crew, and then I was like posting them and tagging people. And I realized that like, I hadn't seen their face. Like this entire time, I've just been seeing people this much of their face and just looking at people's eyes and having full conversations, you know, and like, I don't even know what you look like. And then I'm like looking at their Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's right. That's what this person looks like. It's crazy.
Just go see them sharing the same bottle of whiskey in the prop truck on break. You'll find out what they look like.
You know, it's hard not to. It's hard. I'm trying not to judge because this is one of the most impossible things ever. Yeah. But like, and that's all I got to say. It's just kind of like this. I didn't think it was gonna last this long. You know, and I'm a cynic, but this is, you know. It is what it is, I guess. You know, you get to this point in the conversation where all you have left is cliche.
Yeah, it's just we somehow got built up as as a species a level of patience for, well, you just don't know when it'll be over. You just don't. And like 5 months ago, I would be that thought used to drive me insane. Like, I hate not knowing. But then it's just like, and I've said this in the show, you know, we're basically living the serenity prayer. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing.
That's what they want, man. They want you to get used to it. They want you to acquiesce, man. And then the next thing is the microchips, dude.
I love that I became a hi-hat right there. But like, no, but that stuff is like, it's because everybody, I feel like those QAnoner peeps, everybody is hurting. Everybody is struggling and everybody's looking for a damn reason as to why. Yes. Wouldn't it be so easy and appropriate if it was just a simple group of people that were doing everything?
If you just had the one vampire to kill and the rest would die.
I know.
You know,
yeah, like that's exactly what people wish.
Salem's Lot, stick the blue guy. Just get that blue guy with the long fingers, and everyone else just blows up.
Man, you take all these scientists, cram them up your ass. I listen to Jesus and YouTube. That's what a fact is.
You hear the beginning of a word and you think someone's going to say a totally different sentence? I thought he was going to say, I listen to Jesus in Utah. Like, who's Jesus in Utah? Because I would like to learn. Listen to him.
I go to YouTube University. They're not elitist. They don't give out degrees. You just attend and learn. That's how YouTube University.
That's it.
I love that you also know just to take a sip. You know exactly when to time it.
Oh, that timing's ingrained. That's not even.
Oh, that's the Kyle Stage persona. For sure.
Which, by the way, I did. You know, I was listening before I came on, and I was really curious about, because you guys were talking about, you know, obviously something I've been thinking a lot about, which is of course the state of stand-up comedy.
Sure.
You know, not only just right now, but after all this is done.
Yep.
Because of course, a lot of businesses, this is horrible, you know, economically, and entertainment and entertainers are always, since everyone, you know, believes that it's expendable in a certain extent, people just kind of, it's always kind of the first stuff to go. And people forget that like people own these clubs, people work at these clubs, you know, that like this is a living for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And as tragic as it is, I guess it's sort of like a reminder that we are actually a community, and that like stuff like this has happened. I always look at it like stand-up is going to survive in some way or another. Like these venues and these people that we like, you know, will probably go away, but there'll be other places. And, you know, maybe it's the time now to kind of figure out what the hell those other places could be like. I'm kind of not as attached to stand-up as it was, I guess, before this. I'm curious to see what's going to happen though.
I got into it, very relevant. I got into it because I posted up, we were talking about that venue that closed in Portland, Maine, the Port City Music Hall. And just, you know, social media, some yahoos like this, see, America got woke and got broke. And now the people with real jobs don't have money, so they can't spend it on the fake jobs like art and comedy. Like, and I'm like,
how did woke make that fucking place close? What did woke have to do with it?
Well, I stopped
It rhymes,
myself
though. It's
from
great.
this guy's whole thing is like, but I just took offense to the idea of fake jobs. And then, because it's the internet, you're like, well, let me go to your profile and see what you're about. Okay, you're a fucking combat veteran. What the fuck did you fight for? What did you go somewhere, put your life at risk to come back? You want to come back to a place that's got no art, no music, no literature, no food made other than for sustenance, no fashion made other than to clothe your fucking genitals. What did you do anything for? What did you do anything for?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to like mine. You don't have to like my comedy, whatever. But what'd you do on R&R? What'd you do in downtime when you're in the military? Did you read a book? Did you watch TV? Did you do any of that?
Yeah.
Like now I'm not sitting here saying that what we do is fucking food and water, but it is. And I'm the first one to joke about how what we do is even the bottom rung of entertainment are clowns.
Sure.
But the reason I'll make fun of that is because people can laugh at it, and that's the job. But as far as stand-up can literally be done pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
You don't need the mic, you don't need the stage, you don't even need people to listen to you. There's a guy sitting under a bridge yelling out thoughts, and if those thoughts are funny enough, that's a stand-up comedian. If you laughed at him because the intent was funny, that's a stand-up comedian.
Everybody on this screen has done it almost everywhere.
Mhm.
Fucking cafeterias at colleges. Were those early gigs? Why did you put me on this wooden box in the middle of a cafeteria? No one wants me here.
Yes.
This is an experiment to crush my self-image.
But you'll do it. We still go up there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean,
times.
But if you're a comic that's looking at it, but like, how do you make money from it? Well, man, that's a world that I don't like. Good luck to you.
That's
good luck with viewing it through that lens.
Don't remember how.
That's its own thing, though, and it doesn't, like they aren't mutually exclusive. Is that how you use that phrase?
Yes.
It's kind of like, I remember talking to somebody. I don't remember who it was, but it was like their wife was an actor. And she was like in New Orleans filming something. And they were dicking her around about when they needed her. Cause she was like, can I fly home though? Because I'm supposed to be like, so they're like, oh yeah, you can fly home. And then she bought a plane ticket like, oh no, wait, we need you. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, no, okay, it's okay, you can go. In the end. And then my friend was like, oh God, I could never be an actor. I'm like, literally none of that has anything to do with acting. That's just a bunch of bullshit. Yeah. Like no one signed up to get dicked around about their schedule. People wanted to get on a stage, and make a joke, and fall to the ground and have people laugh. This whole 10% and is this my lawyer and all that stuff is because people will screw us. Yeah. Because we love to get on a stage.
Yeah.
And fall down and make people laugh. And because we love that so much, people are like, you want to do it for a nickel? We're like, yeah.
Sign this. Okay.
So they're like, we're going to give you 2 nickels. And then we're like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
And so we need that protection because people will take advantage of us because we're idiots, because we fall for laughs.
Well, yes. My favorite part is when like people are like, well, we get 10%. It's like, well, why?
That's the other thing.
What's the law?
That's the other thing, man. I've been watching that Keith Raniere shit.
Oh.
And like, look,
goddamn vow shit.
But the Seduced one, the Stars one, that one is incredible because
I hear it's more brutal. There's this director that I follow that this blew my mind. I was like, I watched Scanners, the horror movie where they
classic
fight with their brains. And I'm like, this shit is so crazy. They should remake it. And this director, Lexi, I forget her last name, but she did the craziest Punisher movie. It's the most violent shit.
Oh, the one with the
Warzone,
dude from
Punisher Warzone.
Warzone, yeah.
And it's that thing where just despite, let's just say my wokeness, I watched it and went, a woman directed this? Holy shit. And I kind of fell in love. And so I just tweeted at her. I tweeted, they should actually, and she tweeted back and she's like, they actually approached me for this project, but too many people own the rights or something. I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Like I saw this coming, but where was I going? We were talking about
Raniere.
What's that? Yeah, Raniere. She said that Stars one is the one to watch. I've only seen the HBO one.
Here's
the Stars
why.
one, she said, is way more brutal.
It's because there's a lot of experts they dissect how cults work. So they actually give you ways to like think about how they program you.
Oh,
And then
right.
I was thinking, watching this. What do you say, Kyle?
What are we talking about right
It's
now?
the Nixium group.
Oh yeah, that cult.
It's this.
Oh, okay. I got lost where we were going.
Yeah, sorry. It's this Keith Raniere, this Land's End wearing fucking.
No, I knew the name, and then you were talking about The
people-
Vow, which I thought was a TV show.
He has
It is.
people beholden to him to the point where he created a sex cult of women. And
No, I knew about that. I just didn't put that stuff together.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know what?
okay.
I think there's a fully different show called The Vow.
Yeah, isn't it
It's
like a
Hulu-
romantic comedy or something?
Oh, right. Of course. There's probably a ton
What?
called The Vow.
It's you can't copyright titles. Anyway, the point is, the Stars one breaks down how cults work and how they break you down to convince you, and this dude attracted, what he did was he lurched onto
This is
Yeah,
where
there you
I'm
go.
like,
That is a
what are
cult.
you
Rachel
talking-
McAdams and Channing Tatum.
Right
Yeah.
there.
Because
That
then
is
you're like, and the Punisher, it was the Punisher War Zone was in The Vow, and it was like, well, I'm like, what's it? When did America's Sweethearts?
No, there's an
Turn to the
HBO
other
documentary. It's because the HBO one is made by people who left the cult, and
Yeah.
it's more about their experience and as they're going through it. The Seduced one has more. It's more comprehensive. It goes more into the history of this dude that started the thing, where he got his ideas from, even. And I was like, oh, what word? Point is, me and my wife watching this stuff, looking at how cults work, and I was like, that's how Hollywood works.
Interesting.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's Harvey Weinstein. Like, that's how these people made this place a cult to themselves. And that's why they got away with all this crap, because they keep brainwashing and
to
using
your
these
point,
opportunities to manipulate people.
with the Harvey Weinstein thing, the thing with the Nexium was like, you leave, you're fucked. You can leave anytime you want, but you leave. No one's gonna talk to you about all this shit. It's like, you'll never work in this town again.
Yeah.
The big threat.
Hey, agent, I'm gonna leave out Los Angeles.
Weinstein's-
Oh, you can't do. Oh,
those recordings of Harvey Weinstein talking to those women, and they're like swatting him away, and he's like, no, come on, you don't want to do this to yourself. You don't want to do.
Man,
That's
the thing, and this is the reason I bring this up, because it seems like it's getting dark for no reason.
Confession time.
No, the point, the reason I bring this up is like, these are the mofos that shaped this whole damn industry.
You're right.
In a sort of a way. So it's not that I'm saying throw everything out. I'm just saying we got to reshape it. We get to reshape it
And call the bullshit for what it is.
because that dude wasn't a director or a writer or an actor.
Mm-hmm.
He became powerful because he knew really good directors and writers and actors.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, no, they're the waiters that communicate between the kitchen and the people at the tables.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I think, but that was my big thing too. Is like, well, this person, I would argue with agents, like, well, I booked this thing on my own, but because you're my agent, like, yeah, we're gonna get 10%. Why? They asked me to do it. I said yes.
Because they're working to get you work, and that would be their argument, to play devil's advocate. Otherwise, don't have them.
Then you get paid for the work that you get me. But if I got work on my own, I'm going to keep that money.
I absolutely agree with you. Listen, I only work freelance for CAA now. I'm a mole. I'm a terrible.
But that's the thing, is that kind of like, it's who is deciding where your career is supposed to be going, and why isn't it more of a collaboration sometimes? I think that there's some language that got lost somewhere. My biggest obsession now is assumed universals. At some point, people just stop explaining things and just assume and then everything breaks because everyone's just been saying the same cliches over and over again, instead of saying like, how's this actually work? And they're like, oh, you do the thing and the thing does the stuff. And you're like, that doesn't mean anything.
But well, in LA's but it's a perfect place because people just moved to LA going like, I'm good. People think that as long as the hustle's there, that's the most important part. And I remember getting there knowing like, I know I have a good work ethic. I know I'm going to put in the time, But I remember somebody saying, like, yeah, you got to go get in line at the Laugh Factory and wait 3 hours to do their open mic. And then Jamie Masada is going to give you notes and then give you a time 4 months from now to come back and do the open mic again and see if you took those notes. And I was like, fuck you. There's not a fucking chance that this is how good comedy gets made. You can make your stars at the it's called the Laugh fucking Factory. That should be the first sign when it's called a factory, that they're just trying to manufacture some shit in the mold that they know how it works. And boy, do I love burning bridges now that I haven't talked to anybody in a while. I don't live in California. But I was like, no, there's I can do 4 open mics in the time it takes me to sit in line at this one place, and I can get a joke ready for the stage tonight at 4 open mics than I could waiting for 6 months for Jamie Masada to go like, oh man, you should wear a cowboy hat next time or some dog shit. So
look, guys, what can I ask you guys this? Why did jokes cost so much at the Comedy Store?
This is getting off the rails. But it is that thing where I love it. I'm so happy.
I'm sorry.
The factory and the store down the street from one another. That was the first things I noticed. Like, this is ridiculous.
A factory and a store. We make it at the factory, and then you buy it at the store. But the point I'm trying to make is something about, like, I always thought the point of rep was to have someone who is they're your advocate. You can't be selling yourself all the time. Yeah. So you get a proxy.
Yeah.
But what has happened is, like, sometimes the agency and the manager structures, they get convoluted and they get confusing, and different agencies and companies have their bottom line or whatever. And they start to see us as products instead of assets.
Right.
And that's where it starts to break, because we think that they see us as assets and they think that we see ourselves as products. So, like, we aren't communicating with each other. There's a bunch of assumed universals about what the point is to be here, I guess, or even to make shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, of course everyone's got to make money, but, like, can I make something I like?
There's no point in doing anything other than that. And, like, I think the big mistake people make is they think agents get you work. No, never. They fucking close the deal once you have the work. No one wants to talk to an agent. Once someone wants to work with you, the agent calls them and they're like, hey, Mike. And Mike's like, hey, let's negotiate. I was on a bus with a bunch of, I think I was an extra in something. And I was on a bus with other extras, and they were like younger people than me that were like, man, I would love to, wish I could sign with CAA or something. And it's like, and I wanted to grab him by his shirt and be like, it wouldn't make a difference. Like, unless you're, like, hot, that agency couldn't do anything for you.
Well, I don't want come off as arrogant. Like, I full disclosure, I have management, I have agents. But my thing
we all do.
Well, but like what I'm saying, when you go and get your own work, get your own work, and then they're like, yeah, cool, we get 10% of that. That's just a number that they made up.
Right.
It's not a real number. You could be like, no, you can have 2% of it, or whatever number you want to make up back at them. We've all accepted these numbers. There's skyscrapers built on fucking handshakes in that town. And we laugh at Scientology for being in the same city. Of course you're here. It's filled with fucking suckers.
An agency, like a rep should leave an agency and start like 7% Dave's, like a used car lot. And he just signs everybody and only takes 7%.
Honestly, fucking, you want to go some Jerry Maguire route with it? I'd sign up with you.
Well, here's my question, because that's my question. What's the alternative?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This conversation that we had about these comedy clubs in these cities, in these scenes, and these people that we know, that's what can be very beautiful about doing the road, is that you get to have relationships with cities. There was sometimes there were clubs where if I went to a club in a place and it just wasn't anywhere that I could, like, experience people for real, like experience the city I was in, then I was like, well, then I just have a relationship with the club. I don't want a relationship with the club. I want a relationship with Denver. I want a relationship with Chicago.
Yeah.
I want to know the city. I want to know Atlanta. I don't want to just be at this club and then I walk across the street to the McDonald's, and then I go back and do my, like, it's just this.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's because, and that's what I liked about indie venues and all these comedy festivals that happened, is that it was comedy fans, comedy promoters in these weird venues. You really got to see the people in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, I think that the biggest thing that's going to be true after Panny D, that's what I call the pandemic, if I wanted to feel cute,
Shut up.
is I think this whole you have to be in Hollywood or you have to be in New York BS is officially dead.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't matter where you are. It matters that you're doing something that's good. And that you speak to that community that you want to speak to. You know, that's what the point of these reps are supposed to be. But all that gets convoluted when all this money, you know, gets into it. You can still make money, but speak to who you want to speak to in the way you want to in a community. And that's what I'm saying. We can reinvent everything. I'm trying to, if that makes any sense. I'm not being like, I'm the new, you know, head of Hollywood. It's not that. It's just that, like, there's an infrastructure already of people who know how to do shit in every city.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I wish right now I could just bust in with an ad for Monsanto or something like that. Sort of, like after that heartfelt, like,
Monsanto.
We gotta pay for these cameras, man.
Hey, we gotta pay the bills.
But that's Bear and I agree entirely. And that's, I mean, I took a lot of cues from bands and everything. Like, I still use my agents and my manager, like, I want to play this city. This is the kind of venue. I want to play the venue in this city that's like this, the one in this other city, this capacity. I want prices to stay at this point. And he makes that happen effectively. And you know, he's not making a ton of money. He's making money off the volume that I'm willing to work, not at the prices I'm willing to charge. Because I know early on that, like, if you show up at a city and I'm like, listen, I'll be at whatever this place is, and it's going to be a pass the bucket show. But if I could put on a show where it's like, man, that was such a good show that when this guy comes back next time, I hope he is in a comedy club or something, like set up roots. And I still have those. And that's all just old punk rock in the van type shit.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like, look, it's the first time I've been there. I don't need to make the most money ever. Nobody knows who the hell I am. Let me go make an impression.
That was my thing when you had, that was my only, like, problem I had with your YouTube comedians, you know, where, like, a lot of us real comics had a big problem with them, but like, they were going on the road and selling out some of these venues, and I was looking at their ticket prices and I'm like, man, you better be fucking good and you better show more than your goddamn videos. And like, a lot of them were just dive bombing. Well,
that's a smart manager going charge a lot because people aren't coming back to see it.
That's really
that's a manager that knows who they're working with, being like, you better charge $80 because you're not going to be able to charge 40 twice.
But if I can piggyback off my own theory, because it is a theory, I'm not, you know, anything I say, I'm some guy with a hat.
Jarritos hat. I like
that. Hey guys, hat. Yeah, you know what was that kid's name? Luke Winicky. You know that kid?
Yeah,
one of these young kids around the LA scene. He had some show at one of those places on Santa Monica, and Jarritos was his sponsor. And he was like, "Yeah," I like called them, and they said, "Yeah." And
I did that show.
Yeah, he was like, "Here's your hat." I'm like, "That's a dope hat."
I wish I would have done that show. I want that hat.
I remember he had the banner. Like, he's like, yeah, I just was hitting up anybody. And Jerry was the only one who like, yeah, we'll give you some stuff.
Talk about hustle, man. Love that.
Hustle. Okay, so speaking of hustle, this is the thing. So with this idea of asset and product, because, you know, and I think this is what happens. I think that, like, agents, reps, and of course, artists, we have different agendas.
Right.
And thus we have different strategies. And so we don't clue each other in on what the strategy is sometimes, but that is sometimes it's because we don't speak the same damn language about what it is we even want to do. And I think that that's the place that needs work. You know, that's the shit that when we hear about all these legend comics and actors and crap from the day, when they talk about managers and agents, that when we think of what they are, we think of these people who don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing. It's because they were creating this industry because they had to kind of figure it out.
Right.
And now everything got locked into a thing where they're like, everything is a cog and we can make this a publicly traded company, you know, sort of a thing.
Speaking of cog, just real fucking quick, I talked with Ken Reed, who does that TV guide thing. Did I talk about this already?
Comic
with
Ken
the Mel
Reed?
Gibson
Boston
thing?
guy, yeah.
Yeah, I know
Boston
Ken.
guy. Anyway, he said he had a relative who used to be like in PR on a huge level in like Hollywood and retired now. But when that Mel Gibson like drunk driving sugar tits thing happened, he like she watched it and she went, Jesus. She's like, that never should have happened. And he goes, what do you mean? She's like, back in my day, everyone got a piece. Like they knew the bars they'd go to. They knew if they had a drinking problem, they would slip the bartender, all the busboys, everybody like $100 a week and be like, call us. If Mel shows up, you call us. So he'd get in the door and get like fucking one Blue Moon, because that's what he had in the picture, a Blue Moon beer. Like
Great beer.
Solid Vice beer.
It's the orange slice that does you in.
They pull up and they throw him in the car and they're like, go home, Mel. And like it just never happens. And he wakes up, he's like, woo, thank God for my PR firm. I just love that story where it's just like, the old Hollywood days.
Well, is it because TMZ's coming in and paying $200 instead of $100? Like, hey, if Mel shows up, give me a call and clear a spot out in the bushes.
I
got my sports lens with me.
That's a whole different thing, man.
Yeah, we're coming up. We're almost on up to an hour. Kyle, you want to read the sponsors?
Oh yeah. Let's go over. Okay, Kurt Neal from last week's charity was Food for Lane County.
Yes.
And man, all right, let's go. We got Annie Harrington. 10, maybe Steve O, 10, Toolbox 88, nice, 10, Kevin, yeah, buddy, Kevin Shiramizu, 10, B. Arthur Miller, 10, Zip the Chim, new one that I don't recognize, 20, thank you, I'm Stormtrooper Girl with the Riot Girl thing, 10, in Helen's name, yes, thank you for that, John Griffick, 32.49, a specific donation, you mentioned 32.49, Freddie, I don't remember. Colin Brayton, the whole Crunchy Bones crew is in here, 10. Anxious Pangolin, 10. Swayze Meter, 25. Swayze Meter's sitting on cash. I appreciate it. No Coin, 25. Snip Ticker, 20. Thank you. So, and thanks to new patrons, we got John Birkenkopf and Lynn Aubrey. Wow.
Thanks, guys.
Man, this is
amazing.
going great. We're making
Baron, let's
money
talk
for
about
folks.
your charity, because when people watch this, they will send monies and coins. So what is your
Yeah, definitely. Have either of you gentlemen ever worked with Young Storytellers?
No.
Young Storytellers is an organization here in Los Angeles. They are, and I've worked with them a couple times during the pandemic, during Panny D. I always wanted to work with them before that, but I never had a chance to. Basically, what they do is my favorite. I mean, it kind of relates to a lot of what we're talking about. They're going into schools, quote unquote, Title I schools. I say quote unquote because I went to a Title I school, and they teach these children the tools of storytelling. Basically, like they teach them to write and to direct, and it's a means of self-expression. It's kind of, and so they do these writing workshops with these kids, and they just encourage them to be creative. And then they do a big show, and they get a bunch of different actors. I did one recently, and who else was there? Jason Mantzoukas hosted the thing.
Cool.
It was me, and it was heck, I can't even remember. Tony Hale, Judy Greer, Randall Park, Stephanie Beatrice, just all these different people, actors out there. And it's so fun because these kids are they're writing really fun stuff. It's better than a lot of Hollywood scripts.
I think when I was with an agency that I'm not with anymore, I think I went and did that. And I was like, without a doubt, the least famous person of all the actors. And we just did these little scenes these kids had written. It was so fun. And
it's great. And these kids are so, man, to see them, like, I hate to be like, be cheesy, but to see them, like, their eyes light up when their words are being spoke. Their story comes to life, and it makes them laugh and smile. And
awesome.
It's an incredible organization. And it's the kind of thing that when I was that age and stuff like this happened, in my school, it's, one of the reasons I am who I am today.
Oh, right on.
Young Storytellers.
Young storytellers.
Nice.
Look at Baron and his good teeth selling Young Storytellers.
Man.
Gentle work. Can't wait to get some.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, man. Appreciate
That's awesome.
it.
I love you guys. This is fantastic.
I love you too, buddy. I want you to be good. Real quick. Any fatherly advice you can give to Matt, since you?
Oh yeah, you got two.
You got a crop of 2 over there.
I got 2. That's right. Matt's got 1 on the way. Congrats again, Matt.
No, it's out there.
What?
Yeah, she's not. I would bring her out, but she's at the park with her friend smoking cigarettes.
Well, just the fact that I have no idea how much time has gone by is part of my advice. Just when you start to get used to it, you won't be anymore. Just when you start to get used to it, they change, and that's going to happen until they're 35.
Yep. I met a man in Alabama that told me, daughter's the best, man, up until 8th grade. Then they don't give a shit about you. I'm like, I'll take that. I will take that as gospel. I said that to Kara. She's like, yeah, that's really true. So. And
when you see the 3-year-old, you'll see who they are as a teenager when they're 3.
Okay.
You're going to get glimpses.
Okay.
I will be 44 next month. And if I see a group of teen girls in a store, I am horrified.
They're scary, man. They're scary.
I'd rather run into the Taliban than teen girls grouped together.
Teen girls have much more of a sinister strategy.
There's an argument to be made that the Taliban kind of exists because of their fear of teen girls. There is an argument to be made that
we need to be smarter and more threatening than our mortal enemy, which is
Taliban. I'm watching out for the teen Laban. Have you
shut it down now? Shut it down every time he grabs the mic.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
He did shut it.
Oh my God, that was very fun.
Comedically, the sound of someone wrestling a mic will always be one of the best sound effects.
It really is. Like, I don't know what it is. What is it? Who is it?
I yield my time.
Yeah, Senator, I yield my time.
Who was it that had? Didn't somebody have like? Remember the old SNL where it was like Carlin just did stand up for like 30 minutes.
Oh, you mean like the second episode or something?
Yeah, but like that first year, like people would come in, Andy Kaufman and shit, and just do these long ass bits. And so I feel like someone had a bit like that, but I can't remember. We all got to go.
Yeah, I gotta get ready for my fucking Zoom show. I'm gonna eat a dick. So.
Ooh, have fun.
Hey, try not to own too many hecklers.
Take care, guys.
See ya, everybody. I guess I'll stay on while we get played out. Is the show over? Maybe not. See you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Still here. Waiting for it to end.